there.
Too real. What's up, Too real, real? How you doing, brother?
What's going on, man? Now, I just had a question about the peopling of the Green Sahara. you
Feel
know,
free, feel
I,
free, feel free.
I was just messing around. I know I was gonna trigger him a little bit.
No, no, I mean, no, but for Chief X and for anybody listening, since we brought it up, right? There is a PhD, right, named Fulvio Cruciani, right? He's an Italian. He's from the Mediterranean. Like Chief X knows where the Mediterranean is, right? And he's a
He's an
professor.
Italian like Kobe Bryant. Go ahead. I'm
Yeah,
joking.
he- he's a professor in the Department of Biology, right? And he put together a study with, let me see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 other PhDs in the field of genome and DNA study. And they put a,
Can you share that with us, please, brother V Bennett?
yeah, yeah. Let me see here. I'll share it with you. And the
Or give me the
study is,
name. Give me the title so I can share it in the chat.
yeah, it's called the peopling of the last Green Sahara. Oh, let me. I'll tell you. I'll copy it and I'll put it in the chat since I can't put the link there, and then maybe
Oh,
you can
is it
find.
on the National Institute of Health.gov? Is that the one here?
Yes, exactly. And
Okay.
they have the DNA analysis that they took. They have their prior DNA analysis that was taken, and they even say here in this report, for those that are interested, that before, it was commonly assumed that the people the people of sub-Saharan Africa, how their DNA got into North Sahara Africa is from the slave trade, and that their findings refute that, right? That the people of sub-Saharan Africa actually were in North Africa in the Green Sahara thousands of years before that, before the slave trade. You see, so that's what I wanted to get at, Chief X, and I don't think he should take offense to it because he's making claims, and people are going to have questions about those claims.
Exactly.
And guess what? DNA analysis changes. This is up to date. This is this study was done in 2018. There's follow-up studies even on this study by PhDs. You see, so it's not personal to Chief X, even though the subject of African history is kind of personal to some of us when we hear people making claims that our ancestors had nothing to do with North Africa.
Yeah,
These kind
their own
of
homeland.
yeah, because it's been I go about this a little bit different. I don't make claims that people aren't connected to each other through all means. I make the claims that African people are like all other people. We travel, we walk, we get in the water, we swim, we think, and we need food, we need shelter and things like that. And we have brains and we create those things according to our needs. You see, and I don't think our needs are any different than anybody else's. So if so I approach it that way. I've never made claims that no
Yeah.
Europeans have
Yes.
ever been in North Sahara Africa,
And that's the
or
problem, V Bennett.
I don't
You know
make
what I'm
claims
saying?
that no Asians have never been in Africa. But I also don't make the claim that it sounds like Chief S often makes, and that is that sub-Saharan Africans don't have any connection to North Africa in the history outside of the slave trade, largely. I don't make that claim. Can you read the
Okay.
conclusions of that report that you just
Okay.
had
Let
up?
me put it back. Let me put it
Yeah,
back now.
it's just one little
Here,
paragraph.
for those who wonder, the download link I mean, here's to download, on the right, but I've put the direct download link in the chat. So here what it says. Sorry.
Yeah, you got to go see on the right where it has this on the right. Yeah, it says conclude. It says conclusions there to the
Conclusions.
right.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. There you go. Click on
So
that and it should do it.
okay. But right at the beginning, results, it says, in order to investigate the role of the last Green Sahara in the peopling of Africa, we Deep sequenced the whole non-repetitive portion of the Y chromosome in 104 males selected as representative of haplogroups which are currently found to the north and to the south of the Sahara. We identify 5,966 mutations, from which we extract 142 informative markers, then genotyped in about 8,000 subjects from 145 African, Eurasian, and African American populations. We find that the coalescence age of the Trans-Saharan haplogroups date back to the last Green Sahara, while most northern African or Sub-Saharan clades expanded locally in a subsequent arid phase. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it not sharing? Oh, yes, it is. Okay.
Boom,
So,
yeah.
our date. Good. All fits. Our data suggests that the favorable climatic conditions in the fertile environment established in the Sahara during the last African humid period promoted the occupation and dispersal of human groups and contributed to the present distribution of Y lineages in northern and sub-Saharan Africa. On the contrary, historical events such as the Arab slave trade had only a marginal role in the Y genetic composition of African people. Our inferences are based on the assumption that migration events that occurred in recent times are reflected by recent coalescence times of Y lineage. To support our assumption, we included in this study a large number of African, European, and Near Eastern ethnic groups, both from our lab collection and from the literature data, in order to consider as much genetic diversity as possible. However, we could not completely exclude the presence of informative haplogroups in other populations/regions absent in our sample collection. More sample efforts could lead to the identification of other informative data from other populations, and these findings will refine our inferences. Nonetheless, this study highlights the importance of the targeted selection and analysis of uniparental haplogroups with a relic distribution to understand past human history, which could be concealed by the genetic changes caused by successive events. Also on, method, blah, quality control.
Yo, check it out.